Spring 1940. Lyndon had been in Congress 3 years. President Roosevelt is on the move. This is the way it looks from the other side of the fence. But where he was going and what doing is lost in the mist of time. And here comes the big touring car called the Queen Mary. There are 2 of them, one full of Secret Service. The crowd awaits him, the motorcycles, the George Washington Monument, the Tidal Basin, cherry blossom time. The Jefferson Memorial is just being built now. And here is little Ann Thomas, the daughter of Congressman and Mrs. Albert Thomas of Texas. The Swan boat. There's something irresistible about cherry blossoms time. You just reach for your camera. Lyra and I, Mrs. Thomas, both took movies in those days. Lyndon had given me my camera for Christmas, I think, of 38 or 39. Magnolia Soulangiana in Anne, they match in color. Oh, those handsome buildings, the Federal Reserve. And there's Ivo Sparkman, Mrs. John Sparkman of Alabama, in front of the Federal Reserve building by the fountain, which always looks so cool in the summertime. There's the Public Health Building, the Forsythia, first sign of spring. I used to wear up hairdo quite a lot then. And this lilac was my own backyard. And this is a scene, 2 scenes, up in the Arlington Cemetery. Ah, that most dramatic spot in all the town. Just as a picture taker, I'm proud of that one of the red azaleas. And here we are, the Pan American. And Mount Vernon. How well those founding fathers chose their home sites. I like the kitchen garden best of all. Here is the bell. There were always espaliered peach trees and fruit trees in the kitchen garden. And there goes the fence stretching across the beautiful rolling Virginia countryside, the front view that looked down to the Potomac from the ceaseless line of people, and the sightseer's boat. There is Mrs. Nan Wood Honeyman, who was a congressman from the far northwest, Portland, Oregon, I believe. And there's Mrs. Jim Kane with her first child, Stephanie. Dr. Jim Kane, hadn't even gone to the war in those days. And there's Kitty Mae, Ida Mae Kane's mother, Kitty Mae Wirtz, with little Stephanie in front of the pink dogwood. I think that was down close to the shore. This was made at the Custis Lee Mansion in Arlington. That lovely wisteria arbor, it is no longer there. And the double cherries, so much richer and deeper pink than the single kind, but not perhaps as graceful. pansies and the tulips and the white dogwood, and there's the British Embassy. And the Venezuelan Embassy on Massachusetts Avenue. And there's the Japanese Embassy. It was not too long afterward, when Pearl Harbor came, that this embassy had to be guarded against crowds that wanted to attack it. Here we are on our way to Texas, traveling by car, stopping to see everything of interest. The home of Andrew Jackson, the Hermitage. Cedars, were they like the cedars of Lebanon? Were always the mark of a house site of old-timers in the South. Someone said they're a sign of hospitality. Look at the lovely boxwood. A side view, and there he is, buried by his beloved Rachel in the flower garden out by the side of the Hermitage. My trips to Texas were always dotted by long stops at anything interesting.